This is a HeadGum podcast.
This table came with the apartment. And I'm sure it was used for dinners or lunches or brunch or...
You don't think the people before you lived here had a podcast?
It is Los Angeles. I'm sure they did.
Yeah, chances are. Right?
Hey, guys. Welcome to Dynamic Banter.
Hey, everyone.
I
guess that's it for us for this week.
So tune in next time when
we got something to talk about.
This time we don't have anything to talk about.
Yeah. We'll try to figure it out the whole time, though.
The thing is like every time we don't have anything to talk about.
I tried to. I was at home and I was trying to write some stuff down, and I wrote one thing down, but then I was like, well, that kind of goes against everything.
Yeah, I mean, like, I appreciate you writing things down because
Thank you so much.
It's a good fail-safe. It's a great fail-safe, but
yeah.
But like we've almost never needed it.
No, which is good.
But it's always good to get to like the 20-minute, 30-minute mark on the podcast, and then like, we have that like,
well,
so Mike, you're a stand-up comedian.
yeah.
And then that's your cue to go, I got some notes.
Hey, I wrote something down. Let's talk about a different thing. I wrote something down.
Dude, the other day I did something that you probably shouldn't do.
Okay. Any person or me?
Well, the thing is like I'm kind of I have like a little too much empathy for my own good. And I think I need to like do you think Zoya will train me?
Have less empathy?
Not that she doesn't have not that she doesn't have a lot of empathy. It's just that she's smart.
Yeah.
With her usage of empathy, like she uses it with family and friends, and
yeah.
Like
Zoya has just as much empathy for anyone as anyone. She's a very caring, loving person.
Yeah,
she's also very
caring.
protective of like her personal time.
Yeah, but she can turn off empathy, which I can't do.
Yeah, I experienced that the other day firsthand. Yeah, she could do that real quick. Yeah, take back everything else.
A time code for when we
cut that out.
Trim that out.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Edit point.
Somewhere Zoya's knuckles, somewhere her like fist tightened.
She's cutting someone's hair right now, and she just stabbed the scissors into the neck. Like, oh, I'm sorry. I don't really feel bad about it for some reason.
You know how some people's ears get warm or they itch when someone's talking about them? When you mention the terrifying potential Zoya altercation, her hand turns to fist.
Yeah, she just completely turned whatever was in her hand to dust.
Yeah, like you ever seen those movies where like it's like an otherworldly
like a monkey's paw.
or like a vampire. I'm talking about like vampires or like when someone's like someone's super strong and it shows them clench their fist.
Yeah,
and it's so tight you see like a drop of blood come out.
Yeah, that happens. And then she licks it real quick to not seem weird to the public.
Yeah, no one notices.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Edit point.
Edit. Pete. Remember when we used to do that all the time?
But we really needed it. And you needed a spike in the levels so you could just do it visually. It makes perfect sense.
I feel like edit point was our first bit.
You think so?
Our first podcast bit.
Probably. On Clover Times?
Yeah, because think about Clover Times.
Yeah. I think of it fondly. Are we gonna do more stuff?
Yeah. There's
we have to.
Some stuff has popped up. But I don't know. Do you guys, listeners who enjoy the podcast, who enjoy Cloverfields, do you guys prefer that like an episode pops up like every time there's like a little bit of news, or would you rather we have like a meaty? Because I mean, like I feel like because there has been more news, but it's like such little bits that I feel like it would just be dynamic banter with a little bit of Cloverfield news.
Yeah, that's not great. You can't do like an hour's worth of a podcast over a little bit of information.
You know what? Then here's the decision. The decision is that we, even though, and I do appreciate you guys tweeting at us that there's like new Cloverfield news or whatever.
Yeah.
And please keep doing that. But
because that's the way we find out a lot of the time.
Yeah, it really is, as busy as we are, unfortunately. But I think what we'll do now is we'll just wait till there's like enough info, and then we'll like do a Cloverfield episode.
That sounds good. I'd be excited to do it.
So anyway, I did something really, I need to learn how to like turn my empathy off sometimes.
Okay.
And or just make better decisions.
I can't wait to hear this story. I feel like I've been waiting for this story for a long time.
Yeah, it's interesting. So I met up with Joe and Elliot the other night. Name drop. And Rob Fee wasn't there. And they had some drinks, and these details aren't important. We were hanging out kind of late, and it was like midnight.
Which one of them do you hate? No, I'm just
Which
kidding.
one do you think I hate?
Go on. I know. Which one do I hate? No, just go on with your story.
I don't hate either of them. I
No,
love them
neither
very
of
much.
us hate either.
No.
Just always seem like a good person.
Pete. It is funny too, like before I get into the story, how much more frequently we needed edit points in the beginning because we didn't know how to talk on a podcast.
Yeah. And you would think.
And
after all this time.
Yeah, well now we like honestly I appreciate it because I edit these down. But for dynamic banter there's very minimal editing. It's
Thank
just
goodness.
like we're pretty good about keeping it linear.
Yeah. Try to fill the pause. This is getting even further away.
Well,
from
I don't
what you
even
wanna
mess
talk
with the
about.
pauses. I don't even mess with the pauses.
Right, but I'm saying like now, I feel like that's the thing you kind of have to be aware of when you're doing a podcast.
Like
is
no pauses.
no pauses.
Yeah.
But now we're so aware of that it's funny
Dude.
to us, not to the listeners.
Yeah.
But if they're going to like
Yeah.
check their phone to see if it's still on, that's become my favorite thing in the world.
I think the pauses are a good like psychological. Hey, listen to me.
Hey, listen.
Hey, listen now.
Listen to nothing first,
Well,
and then listen to me quickly.
It's really because
after.
it's easy to just zone out while listening to a podcast.
Yeah, especially a podcast that's talking about itself so frequently.
With no direction or aim.
What did you do that was a bad person?
And
thing
most of the
other day?
time, the titles don't correlate to what the.
I miss when the titles were one word.
Anyway, but yeah, I appreciate how we don't have to really do many edit points. It's interesting. It's just an observation of how we've grown as podcasters. Mike.
Sure. Yeah.
You've been doing it for a while though.
Yeah, I should be better.
This is my first. Cloverfields was my first podcast.
Well, you did great. What about the source fed stuff?
Well, it's not really my podcast, and I didn't do every episode or anything.
Yeah.
I had been on like Ear Biscuits and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Name drop.
I wasn't sure that you were gonna.
Name it. Actually, I want to talk about Ear Biscuits later. Can you remind me?
Yeah.
Okay. So. Oh no.
Oh no, that was bad.
Wait. What was? No. What was it? That's a fine. Leave it. That's a fine.
I don't want Rig.
Mike, no. She's a smart dog. She's not gonna eat a pen cat.
She's a smarter dog than I am.
Yeah, she ain't gonna eat that pen cat.
I would 100% put that in my mouth.
Me too, man. But she won't because the thing about dogs is some of them won't put something in their mouth that they know is not food.
It's crazy how they can be that smart. That's scary smart.
Okay, so I'm like, when are they gonna take over the world?
Why doesn't she talk like us?
I am so impressed by the dogs that can skateboard.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we were leaving this bar, Joe, Elliot, and I, And Joe and Elliot got into a car, and I continued walking to my car. And the boys had driven off, and I started walking towards my BB Boo Fiat. And I open up my Fiat door, my driver's door to get in.
Gallons and gallons of water come out.
Popcorn, filled with popcorn. I was like, you guys.
Wow.
And Joe and Elliot pop out of the bushes, and they're like, gotcha.
Waka waka.
Oh, man, so much popcorn.
Anyway.
So I open up my driver's door, and then I hear from across the street, hey! Excuse me, hey! Can you give me a ride to the airport?
What?
It was a woman in her, like, early 30s, I'd venture to guess.
Uh-huh.
And she had a suitcase and a backpack. And she was standing outside of this bar.
It was a hitchhiker. It was a new hitchhiker.
You know, we're not there yet.
Did she have her thumb
There was no thumb.
like so?
She had no thumbs.
Did she have her leg like this?
She had no legs.
Okay. She had no legs.
Or thumbs.
Or thumbs.
Which was
what a
weird.
tragic... Okay. Empathy meter starting to kick in a
You
little bit.
can grab with your palm. You don't need a thumb.
Son.
I stood there in silence for maybe too long,
Yeah.
just looking at her.
Yeah, because that's, you know, you didn't have a lift sticker on your
Yeah, and
chest.
that's the thing. Like, probably any normal person would be like, you know what? I'm sorry, it's late. I gotta get home.
Yeah.
But I seriously considered it in my head. Like, I thought in my head, like, this sounds like a nice thing to do for this person.
Uh-huh.
And then my next thought was, well, and then out loud I said, Burbank Airport? And she's like, yes. And I was like, oh, all right. Well, that's like 7 minutes.
Did you say yes or did you say sure? Because that's very important.
Well, listen, Mike. If she
I
had
just
said,
want to make sure.
yeah, sure. I don't think I would have. I would have been like, you know what? I'm gonna go.
Here's what I've learned about you so far. You got pretty good instincts.
Okay, good. Thank you.
And you would never put something that wasn't food in your mouth.
I passed the test then.
Yeah.
You were testing me.
I was testing you.
So I was like, yeah, you know what? That's like 7 minutes away from here. Yeah, come on, let's go.
Uh-huh.
And she's like, oh my God, thank you. And she like rushes over and she gets into the car and she puts her suitcase in and her backpack. And then I go, she goes, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And it's like midnight 30 and it's a little late. It's scaries.
It was about 30 after midnight.
30 after midnight. And it's dark, you know, at that time. Scary.
Yeah.
Streets are bare. Not very many people out. Not very many witnesses.
Cold.
Scared.
Scarce.
Scars.
Scars.
So anyway, so I'm like, man, I feel like a Uber right now. As a joke, I was like, I totally feel like an Uber. This must be what it feels like to be an Uber driver. And she's like, oh. And I was like, all right, and here we go. We're going on a drive now. And I was like, so, what's your story? What's going on? What's the deal?
I thought you were going to be like, so Uber drivers get paid.
Maybe that's why she didn't laugh, because she
Yeah.
was like, if I acknowledge that this is what it's like being in an
Yeah.
Uber,
Yeah.
then I'm going to have to give
What
it
if she was like, you're more like somebody who picked up a hitchhiker?
well, here's the thing. I said, what's your deal? What's the story? And she said, well, you know, I'm from Seattle. I live in Seattle, and I fly to LA every once in a while, and my uncle put me up in this hotel over here, but apparently he didn't put me up for this last night, and I'm flying back to Seattle in the morning. She's like, so I was in this hotel, and they like called security, and it got real weird, and she's like, and the cops were like watching me from like across the street, and she's like, so I'm so happy you picked me up because the cops were like totally watching me. And I was like, oh no.
Oh, no.
I'm gonna feel what it's like to be stabbed tonight.
Or you're going to feel what it's like for the police to think that you have a prostitute tonight.
I'm going to feel what it's like.
And then you're going to be the new Eddie Murphy, and you're going to be like, I was just giving her a ride. That's how that shit happens. Eddie Murphy is innocent.
Yeah. But everyone's ready to jump on Eddie Murphy.
Well, not anymore, I don't think.
Well, that's true. I think for me, it would have been like, well, obviously.
Obviously, Steve had a prostitute.
Like if for anyone listening to this, like, joke answers aside.
Yeah.
Like, we get it. You guys are funny. If you read on Tube Filter that
end of the day, you read on Tube Filter, Steve Zaragoza caught in car with prostitute. Would your first thought be like, nah? Or
would it be like, ah, shit?
Gay got him.
Would it be like, would it be like, there it is? Because every YouTuber has that dark, dumb bullshit, and this one's Steve's.
Yeah.
Prostitutes.
Oh, here's Steve's thing.
I also feel like being caught with prostitutes isn't a big deal, really, right? Like nowadays.
I think it depends where you are. If you're in a situation where it's
like if I'm a family man. Oh, okay. Well, even if it's illegal?
No, legal.
Because I feel like let me think of okay. Well,
if you were legally caught with a prostitute, it's no different than being legally caught with like a yogurt salesman. It's the same.
Where can you illegally be caught with a yogurt salesman?
When
at a yogurt trade show?
You know they don't sell yogurt in Phoenix. New Mexico.
That's like buying shrimp in Nevada.
Yeah, you can't. You shouldn't. You shouldn't. The Wyoming shrimp.
Let's say this. What if Johnny Depp? What if you found out tomorrow? Or like breaking news, TMZ.
Somebody who doesn't need a prostitute.
Yeah.
Don't do Johnny Depp.
That's what I'm saying. Well, okay, fine. Let's say the guy from The Big Bang Theory, Sheldon.
Any of them.
That guy.
Yeah,
The one you're thinking of.
The gay guy?
Yeah. Let's say he got caught with a prostitute.
Man or woman prostitute, because it's varying degrees of.
Let's say man.
Okay,
let's say man.
Great.
Is it anything? Is anyone going to do anything with that information?
I don't know.
I don't think it means anything.
What about if it was like a $60,000 prostitute? See, it's different.
Oh my God. What is a $60,000 prostitute?
They probably exist.
Is that someone who will clean up your home too?
Those people, well, they might. They should
change the oil on your car.
Those are the people that the Washington people get.
Oh, the
you know when you're so
politicians,
powerful, yeah,
the politicians,
yeah, when you're so powerful that you can't feel anything unless a very expensive prostitute steps on your balls or something like that.
Yeah, like the only way to reach orgasm as a rich, powerful person is to pay a 19-year-old boy to shoot you in the foot with a gun.
Yeah, that's another example. But I'm saying, because that exists...
19 is legal, by the way.
Because that exists, if, let's say you were single... Right?
Okay.
If a single Steve Zaragoza got a hoo-hoo in the back of a...
Which one's that?
Oh, we're on a podcast. A hand thing.
Okay, hand thing.
In the back of a massage parlor.
Hand grip.
I'd be like, oh, all right. I'm not going to not hang out with you because of that.
Yeah. What is that? Does that make me a pervert or something, though? I don't think that makes me a pervert.
I don't know.
It just means I'm gave it a shot. I'd probably talk about it on the podcast.
There's so many worse things. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'd be like, so I got a hand job from a prostitute. Let's talk about it.
I paid for it. You paid to see Czechoslovakian women.
Yeah.
You paid to see a holographic Czechoslovakian woman
in my living room.
Too close to your face.
Get incredibly too close, uncomfortably too close.
You got pink eye from a virtual Czechoslovakian woman.
Which is weird because the doctors don't believe me, but where else did the pink eye come from? Let it ring. So anyway, I got real scared after she kept talking about the police.
Yeah, how many knives?
And I was like, I'm gonna feel a hot knife enter my side.
Oh God! Oh God!
I thought the worst. I really did. I was like, I thought about I'm gonna need to crash my car in the movies into a tree.
Oh shit! Well, good thinking.
Right? And that'll disorient.
Yeah, but you do that after you get stabbed. What do you do?
Well, you do that when you feel stabbing is imminent.
Yeah.
Eminent Stabbing is my favorite Who album.
All right.
So I was like, oh, okay, well, no problem. What do you do? And she's like,
I stab people.
I'm a knife salesman.
I'm a knife stabber. Oh, what?
Knife stabber. Do you stab knives? Well, you know, when we're testing out these knives, you got to see what they're resistant to.
And sometimes the only thing in the room is another knife.
Did you know that 3 out of 5 knives can stab through other knives?
Anyway, what was your question?
What if by magic you could actually stab a knife through the knife blade of
That's
another
the only
knife?
thing that stabs it.
Yeah.
So what does she do?
So she's a accountant.
Great.
And so I was like, okay, that's a safe profession.
The stabbing accountant?
And I was like, man, I am so bad at stabbing accountant. An accountant with knives!
For a knife factory.
An accountant for a stabbing firm!
I keep track of how many people I stabbed. I'm just kidding. It's a mattress company.
So when she says that, that's when I crash the car into a tree. Yeah,
that's a hard turn.
Yeah, because I feel like knives at the ready for knife salesman or knife company. Because like the reveal is knife company.
It's a thrusting reveal.
Yeah, you just have to be ready for that reveal.
So she's an accountant.
Yeah, and I was like, oh man, I'm so bad at numbers. Like I wouldn't even know where to begin. Like that's crazy. Like I have much respect.
That's when she jerks the wheel because the conversation is so boring.
Well, she's an accountant.
Oh, you're bad at numbers. Hey, can I
listen? She's an accountant. Talking about numbers and math is like us talking about comedy. Like
sure.
Like you know, that's
it's hard
profession.
for me to switch shoes. But
switch shoes
sure.
for a second.
You're right.
What are you, a size 9?
No.
10 and a half.
No.
12.
No.
13.
No.
You're a 9 and a half.
No.
Size 10.
No.
You're a size 9 and a half.
No. Best bit we've done on the podcast by far. That's our Abbott and Costello. They're gonna be doing that for years.
It's called 9 and a half.
It's called 9.5. No.
9 and a half. No. Like if it's spelled out on a poster,
yeah,
it does. 9 and a half doesn't get fully spelled out. It's 9 and a half. No.
I want people to steal that bit forever.
Yeah,
and do it in a bunch of different variations.
I'm into it. I'm
11,
but I'm on the same page with you.
Yeah.
Size 11. You're size 11.
Yes.
Okay.
So you are you're driving an accountant.
Yeah, so I'm like, I'm not good at math or whatever, and then we just start talking. She's like, "What do you do?" And I was like, you know what? I couldn't tell you what I do. I don't know. I guess I'm a actor, comedian, talent person, host, and
this comes a day after you were in a trailer for an acting thing.
No, this was like several days before the trailer.
Oh, because I was gonna say that day it's real easy to figure out.
Yeah. Well, had it been the next day, I'd be like, well, I'm an actor.
Yeah, I'm an actor. I've been in a trailer.
I had
recently.
a trailer. There's some pictures of me in my own trailer.
You know what? Let me show you these while I'm driving.
It's the first time I've been in a trailer. Because look how many pictures I have.
I took all the cereal. That's in the back if you'd like.
My dad's coming. He's parking his hog.
He's driving as fast as he can.
So God, this is the most frustrating story ever, isn't it?
I'm sorry. Yeah, it's
no, it's my fault. And so she was like, "Oh, anything I would have seen you in?" And I was like, "Not unless you're a 19-year-old boy that shoots politicians in the foot with a gun."
Yeah.
Probably not. And she was like, "Oh, okay." That's cool. And then she's like, "Where do you live?"
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Okay, I live in Sherman Oaks."
Let's just go there.
And she said, "Oh, is that close?" Throw goblin.
She said, "Is that close?" And I was like, no, it's not very close. And she's like, "Oh, okay." She's like, "I'm just gonna probably just stay the night in the airport.
Huh.
Because I have my flight in the morning, so I'm just gonna sleep in the airport probably."
Do you have like a bed? In your apartment, you have a bed?
I've owned a bed.
Uh-huh.
I currently don't have one because I'm in between beds.
Do you have a couch or
It's a
couple couch?
new place. I don't have a couch. I'm sorry.
Because I could.
You could.
I'm
So
sure
am
the
I
airport
dropping you
has
off
a
at Delta,
couch,
or
but-
are you American, or?
Well,
So, strange series of questions to ask after. Just a lot of strange questions
good
to
for
ask.
her for going for it. Jesus.
She went for it, man.
Dude, you both were in a horrible situation. Both of you.
Yeah.
Because she chose you,
Yeah.
of all people?
Yeah.
That means you are so outly unintimidating.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's good.
Or she's like definitely a scam artist
Yeah.
and was like, "This guy looks like a sucker."
She goes from airport to airport.
Yeah, I'm just gonna steal whatever this guy has in his house.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to make him fall in love.
I'm gonna make him fall in love, or I'm gonna sucker him in with the old "I'm gonna stay the night at the old airport" routine.
Yeah.
Wish I had a nice bed to sleep in.
Old Burbank or whichever one is closer.
Yeah. Whatever. LAX, JFK, DVD, DVG,
DVG Airport.
DVG Airport.
DVG International Airport.
Took a red eye out of DVG the other day.
Come get lit at DVG International Airport.
So I was like starting to get kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah.
At this point, and so I was like, okay, when we were entering the airport parking lot, the place where the area where you drop people off for the departing flights, and I was like, okay, which one am I dropping you off at here? And she's like,
Just whichever one looks most comfortable.
whichever one looks most like a bed.
Your bed. Any bed.
Whichever one says Sherman Oaks.
So which one?
She said Delta.
Uh-huh.
And I thought, good choice. Not top tier, but definitely not. It's not low tier.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, here it is. Here's Delta. And then so we parked in front of the Delta thing, and I was like, cool. And I'm not even kidding. This isn't jokes.
Yeah.
She sat in the seat and didn't get out of the car for like a uncomfortable beat. And then
How, if you were to put a number on it?
I'd say like from like full stop to okay. Like, you go, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
It was probably 6 seconds between okay
Six
and when-
Mississippis?
6 Mississippis.
That's an eternity.
Until she finally said, "So, do you want my number or something?" And I instantly said, "Haha, no, I'm good." This is when the theme song to the podcast comes back in.
Anyway, we'll see you guys next
No,
week.
and then it goes to our commercial. We do our ads, and then it
that's
comes
good.
back.
That's great.
That's a fun idea.
Edit point.
Huh?
Dude, what a fucking awesome story. How charming were you driving?
How charming
Yeah.
was I driving?
You had to be driving in it. What else were you Was it your mutual love of numbers? It had to be how charming you were driving.
Dude, I don't know. I mean, it was interesting because
You stop at any cute lights?
Did you comment on how great of a person you were at any point?
Yeah. Did you talk about the moon at all during the drive?
And how when it meets your eye like a pizza pie, that's love.
That's a love.
That's one love.
That's one love.
When you look at the moon and it looks like a pizza, that's love. That's what that song's saying. Seriously, that's what that song is saying.
Yeah, you're 100%
When
right.
when in your peripheral you see the moon, then you look, that is love.
Even if no one's around, look at the moon and you found a pizza. Is this love? What is really love? Is that a pizza? It's really the moon. I'm Italian.
I must be drunk. Yes, I'm drunk if I think that the moon is a pizza. And then I was like,
6, 4. Never
I
mind.
was like, have a good flight. Do you want a LaCroix?
No.
I swear to God. I was so.
Are you sponsored as a human being? Do they just mic you up all the time, give you $75 every time you mention LaCroix? Is that
No,
the new?
I had a box of LaCroix. My sister-in-law gave me this box of LaCroix. They ordered way too much LaCroix.
Does she turn around at this point?
The woman that was coming out of the car?
Yeah.
She said,
Just go.
she's
You know what?
She said, this doesn't need to go longer. I think we're done.
Anyway.
No, she was like, no. Thank you, though. Thank you for the ride. Very sweet. And
Thank
then
you. LaCroix doesn't fix a broken heart.
And she closed the door, and that was it.
Oh, boy.
And she left, and we left each other's lives, and that was it.
You are now a Craigslist missed connection.